Great story time here, dude. Great conversation between these two. Oh, that's Wolchin, and you know, there's the quest, okay.
Relax. What you want? Oh, keep talking.
Yeah, that's basically the main plot right now. Basically, Garrosh just turning the Horde
Don't be shy.
back into what it actually originally was. Like this war-thirsty, bloodthirsty type of barbarians that were just living to spill the blood of others. And only orcs are allowed into the Horde back in Drano because, well, there were only orcs and Roms and I think some Draenei. And the Draenei were the enemy, so... well... well, there weren't anything else but Hawks there. So he's really turning that back into what it originally was, and Thrall has changed a bunch of things. Let me just say that. Thrall has basically turned the Horde, again this bloodthirsty thing, into a family, what is essentially a family, where everybody has his place, not like the Alliance, in a different way actually. The Alliance is kind of this pact against the Horde, which was actually just founded to survive basically the Horde. It's kind of more an act of desperation that the Alliance was founded than anything else. Than anything else. It was just desperation mostly. But the Horde is different. At least the new Horde, the Thrall Horde, I would call it. It's more like he was given a title from the last Warchief, which was before him, and that was Doomhammer. Who was also kinda he was also changing the face of the Horde a bit. He was also the first actually Warchief, for those of you who don't know, was actually someone called Blackhand. He's actually in World of Warcraft too, but he's only there doing the chest event, doing the chest, not the chest. The chess event in Karazhan. He's still in the game, but well, that's his only. And then again, he's not really a character in that game too. He's just the king, as he actually was in the real storyline. But anyways, he essentially had this idea about opening this Horde up to. They were kind of stuck on the. Not on Drano, basically. They were stuck, and they were basically they were captured by humans, and humans ruled them, and all of that stuff. And Doomhammer eventually died, and he passed over his hammer and his armor to Thrall, and also with that he passed over the title of the Warchief. And Thrall then began to... these are the events in Warcraft 3. Thrall then decided to move out because he had a vision from Prophet Medivh to move out of Kalimdor, of the Northern Kingslands, and just go over to Kalimdor. There he found some friends, namely Kain and Vol'jin, basically, and some other dudes, but they're kind of not important in this. But they actually made some new friends, and he incorporated them into the new Horde, which expanded the Horde, of course, but made it stronger overall. And it was just a nice, happy family where they built Orgrimmar as their main city, where everybody who had a problem could go to and find a new home, basically. And that's what. And then the time came after the War of the Lich King and the Cataclysm occurred that Thrall needed to go back to his shaman roots, and needed to aid the experts in dealing with Deathwing. And that's why he assigned another war chief, and his good old friend Grom Hellscream had a son, namely Gromish, and he was back at the time. I don't know if you ever, if you have played through Burning Crusade and also Warcraft of the Lich King. Garrosh had a bunch of different roles. He was kind of like, he heard what happened to his father. He was back in Nagran because he was ill. And then he was kind of back in Naga, and he was kind of suffering under that his father was a great not a war chief, but a great warrior, and has sacrificed himself for almost everything. And he was just a little guy that didn't really come around too much, and that wasn't really a good warrior, because, well, he was sick and he was not really what an orc would say honorable at the time, because, well, he doesn't really have strength, and with all the bloodlust going on, he kind of didn't really find a place in the world. And then came the Lich King. The Lich King attacked, and he kind of mutated to Thrall's Fist in Norgren. He was basically general for everything that was going on in Northrend. And after that was dealt with, and successfully dealt with, and Cataclysm again, Deathwing destroyed basically the world, or almost destroyed the world, he was chosen to be the next war chief because he has proven himself worthy for the title of yeah, he basically basically proved himself worthy for the title in Northrend, and he also was the son of his father, as easy as it is, and Thrall was so thankful for his father and wanted to give him, to honor his death and honor his sacrifice in that way too. So yeah, there's that. Oh, I've got Rain of Fire, nice. Actually, let's... What the fuck? Why can I not place that? Thank you. Yeah. And that was what led him to pick Garrosh, but Garrosh then kind of turned mad, and he was kind of following the same routes as his father had. He would do absolutely everything in order to get more power. Again, what his father fell to in the first place. He did redeem himself in the end, but at the first place he was kind of with bloodlusting thing. He was the first to actually drank the demon blood. Again, watch my Warcraft Let's Play if you don't know. If you want to know more about these stuff in detail. I can only tell you so much. The game can tell you like the exact story, and it's just so much better to play the actual game or watch the game, and then just having me like trying to explain it. Oh, I totally missed the quest there. Yeah, it was. He was falling in the same trap, and now he got his ass kicked during the siege, or after the siege, which was, well, kind of obvious. Yeah, and after that, well, he's just gonna go off. We have all heard about Warlocks of Draenor. After siege, he kind of got freed from a mysterious guy, and then he ran away into the past, teamed up with his dad, and with all of that, prevented him from drinking demon blood, and formed a new horde, the Iron Horde. And what this is gonna hold to us, we will see. I've seen a little bit, but I only seen gameplay, not story, because I don't want to spoil it, and I think they aren't allowed to actually, which is fine with me. So, well, we'll see. We'll see. I think just AoEing with this is better than multi-dotting at this point. Because the other thing is not really cutting it, the multi-dotting thing. They're just dying too quickly. Dots will never take the full effect. Just rain of fire that shit, and I got luck. At least I only got locked into fire, that's kinda cool. No shadow damage luck. Actually, rain of fire single target is probably gonna do a lot of damage too. Also cost a little bit of mana. But that's actually one place where I still need to use maybe some left hand. I'm actually using Drain Life because I would never finish a cast of freaking Shadow Ball. Which is not going to happen. Well, yeah, that's kinda the whole background around that. That's a really interesting story, and I can highly recommend playing Warcraft 3, watching Novel 87 actually. He's the guy who taught me all about that on YouTube. He's really cool. He's a Dutch guy, and he's probably really excited about the World Cup because the Netherlands are doing quite well. Let's see. It's basically. Although this is basically the World Cup of like small guys, which we had a lot of surprises. Big names like England, Italian, Spain. They all dropped out. Big favorites. And basically they all dropped down to smaller teams, which was kind of surprising, but kind of cool in a way too. So the big favorite wall is not really easy to assign right now, because we have these. The weather is really. I think it's the weather, and the weather is really affecting them a lot. You can just see the European teams are just not used to Brazil temperatures, and how could they? I mean, we're talking about at least 20 degrees while playing. That's if you're used to German weather, it's like usually around 15 degrees here, and that's in summer evening. Not even talking about winter degrees. Winter degrees you sometimes have to play it at temperatures around like 0. That's actually Celsius, so I just have to make that clear. It's not Fahrenheit. So yeah, they're kinda not used to it, and well, then you can kind of see it in the amount of golds, or in the actually the way that the golds are done, or are actually coming to place. It's a lot around like corners and free strikes. Well, I don't know. And we also had a lot of penalties, but yeah, we did see a lot of Joker goals, like, yeah, Joker, just guy getting fresh into the game and having still not used like all his power. So it's basically just a fresh guy, and well, it seemed to be paid off quite good in the games. Bring some flesh blood on a freaking on the freaking grasp. Yeah. I don't care for your pistol barrage. I don't care because you're dying before me, and a lot before me. Okay, now we just have to end the quest, and we are going to level up again. It's pretty cool. And we also got a cloak. That's unfortunate. We also have 2 quests to turn in. This is actually the best. No, please not. I'm going to leave real quick. None? Wasn't there another quest?